and we're going to be showcasing an EP called God Over Nothing right now with San Diego artist. Her name is Eturnul, and we're going to have a little chat with her and find out all about what's going on. I literally found Eturnul this week, so this is all new for me as well. Let's get straight into it. Eturnul, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yo, welcome to the HopeJamz radio show.
Thank you. Glad to be on with you.
Definitely. Yo, so like I was just saying, like, this is new for me as well, because quite often with artists, sometimes I find them the week I have them on my shows, and it is for me, like, you know what I mean? So I'm just getting into it. I haven't known you for that long either. So first of all, I want to get into the crux of, like, who you are. So, like, can you give us the backstory of who you are and how you got into the music scene?
Yes, well, I've been writing since I was 9 years old. Pretty much the Lord put me up out of the trenches. I was living a seriously ungodly life out there in the streets, and he called me to do his work. I actually really been writing about God in my music, even when I wasn't doing gospel, but I wasn't living the life that I was supposed to be and was called to do. And so, you know, he pulled me out of a lifestyle of gang banging, hustling, and started dealing with me. Eventually, I wanted a name that would represent God and not myself, because the word always says you got to come out of yourself, you know, make your body a living sacrifice and live for the Lord. And so that's where the whole name Eternal came from, and it's spelled Eturunul, and it's endure, truth, understand, receive, nourish, unconditional love. That's the love that God has for us. And so now I'm a minister of the gospel, ordained minister of the gospel here from San Diego, California. I work with young people at risk, and I also have a health and wellness element that I always include, because, you know, when we push it for God, we got to take care of ourselves so we could keep trying to run this race until it's our time to leave, you know. And that's pretty much it. I just released the EP, like you were saying. My first gospel project was recorded in 2004, and the first project is called No More Stumbling. And I just recently released the EP, and that was yesterday. Wow.
So you just into it like that. And how long have you actually been in the music scene altogether?
Man, I've been in the music scene like 30 years. You know, I've been doing music for years, but I always did like underground. So out here we sold CDs like underground, you know, at the stores, the Walmarts, you know, thousands of copies, just like underground CDs. I never really had a mainstream avenue. There were opportunities that came, but every time that opportunity that came, it's like God was telling me, no, that's not the direction you're supposed to go. And it would just be a project city. Until I heard this voice and knew that this is what I was supposed to be doing. I had a dream about it, and I was supposed to be empowering people. You know, my friends and my homies from the street would always call me a hood angel, because I would always do like godly things, but I didn't have the full commitment and intimate relationship with God that I supposed to have. And once that was, you know, brought to me on how to do that, and I got a mentor that, you know, guided me through, hey, you know, the word of God, and this is what you really need to. You just can't, you know, live any kind of way. You have to actually, you know, it's a relationship that happens, and there's a commitment that takes place when you actually living for God. And so once those things took place, I knew, and I could look back on my life and say, man, God been dealing with me even when I was in my mess, you know, and he had called me then, you know, but I was blind to that at that time. So I just thank God for the opportunity to be here to empower, to educate others on the word of God, and to share his love.
Yeah, definitely. And so when you said like you went down the wrong road, I mean, and you were doing like gangbanging and stuff like that, it's quite, I mean, for me, it's quite abnormal to hear it from a woman's perspective that you were doing that kind of stuff. So like how was that for you? Like, is something like you just got stuck into it from your friends or something?
Pretty much, you know, my father, my biological father was involved in a lot, and I got exposed to a lot out there in the streets. And then the cost of living was really high. So the gangbanging is like, when I'm talking about it, I don't mean like I did drive-by shootings or nothing. I never believed in that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I ended up, because I was hustling, because I was making money, you know, selling drugs and different stuff, you know, to survive. Because, you know, out here in California, it's really high. The cost of living is high. You know, even in the urban communities, you paying like, you know, up to $1,500 for a 2-bedroom out here. Yeah. You know, in San Diego. So the cost of living was high. And back then, I didn't have a relationship with God like that. And so I thought as long as I took care of my family by any means necessary. And of course, I went to school, I had a job too sometimes, but it wasn't enough, you know? And that's what the enemy had me thinking, like, it's not enough, you know? And so money was like my God back then, you know? So more or less the gangbanging part just came from, you know, being out there hustling and being on the streets. And of course, you end up adapting to people you around, and then you end up claiming a block or a street or a color, because that becomes your family, you know. And the enemy will make you think, you know, no one cares. These are the only people that love me. These are the only people that care about you. But God cares about you more than anybody.
Yeah, that's so true. So that's an amazing thing then. So you got lifted up out of that situation, and then was it like music? Was music always in your life then?
Yes, I've been, like I said, I've been writing songs since I was like 9 years old. I've been writing lyrics. I got a lot of songs,
Wow.
a lot of songs that I just haven't like even thought to put on the track.
And then this EP that you put out then, I mean, because obviously I'm saying this because I literally found you this week. This EP that you put out, as far as being, you know, for God kind of thing, is this like first in the line, or have you done others?
I've done the No More Stumbling CD, and I've done some singles. The My Cup, before this track, I did the Eturnul EP, which dropped last year. It had the original My Cup on it. So God had took me through a transition, and the God or Nothing EP is, if I was to explain it besides the whole God or Nothing, a 3-word, to put it in 1 word, it would be outreach. And that's what I believe that God is saying this generation needs. We need more to go out to the byways and highways, outreach. And that's what this project is. It's outreach.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Definitely need more people, definitely on the streets. I guess you'd see it more than I'd see it in some respects. But I saw the video you did where you had like the kids in there and stuff like that. Were there kids from your church and your youth?
Those are kids that I grew up with their parents. Some of their parents are like, you know, part of my team, my street team, and some of their parents, I grew up with their parents, and you know, so on and so on. They're all from different areas of San Diego, California. Majority of them grew up in my community in Southeast San Diego, because that's where you start, you know, start at home with your family, and then you know, spread it everywhere else. So those are actually children that I mentor.
Nice. And so, like, with the music now then, are you feeling the Lord tell you to kind of push it more and go into more mainstream with it?
He's pushing me to be more unashamed of saying God. And that's what this song is about. This song is about, you know, the devil always got people making music about drugs and doing whatever else. And it's like, be bold. And so he's giving me that to, hey, go all the way with me. You know, don't be ashamed to display your love for me. Show people that I am the way. Show people that there's no other team to be on but God. Show them that they got to choose sides. And that's pretty much what God or Nothing is about. It's like in the lyrics, you know, we stomping the devil's head out, but we're having fun at the same time, you know, and we saying, hey, it's God or nothing at the end of the day. Who are you going to serve? And that's what it's about right there. So, yeah, God is telling me to go hard. And I literally been going hard in the paint. I went back to school, took some class, the e-commerce and stuff like that, just so I can learn more about how can I get higher? How can more people see me? I went and got my passport. I haven't used it yet, but I know God told me, go get my passport. You know, I went and got my passport last year. I didn't even think I could get one. And I'm like, yeah, he's telling me to go all the way. So when you say, is he telling me to go mainstream, but on God's side?
Well, that sounds dope. So tell us about the EP then. Like, how did you, I know there's only 4 tracks in there, so was it like previous singles? How did you put it together?
Actually, it was gonna be called a triple single. Actually, the 3 songs besides My Cup, G-Mix, those were gonna be called what you call a triple single. So I was gonna drop a triple single. I actually had got injured with my knee, and that's how that whole EP came about. I tweaked my knee like out of nowhere. I was on my way to the studio to record one song, and when I tweaked my knee, I ended up in the emergency room, and I decided to go anyway, even though they put me in a straight stent, put me in a straight thing where I couldn't bend it, and I went and recorded these. I was so mad because I knew I was being attacked. I knew the devil was trying to close my mouth, and that's how this EP came about.
Wow. So then you felt pushed to release it.
Yep, I'm not gonna stop. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. And so I just continued to work behind the scenes. And it was like God was placing me in this. It was like I felt like the enemy was doing something, but at the same time, God was doing something with. Even though I was in this situation with my knee, I needed to be home to do these classes. I needed to be home to get the certain stuff that I needed to get done, like far as like marketing and different stuff and everything with the business, my trademarking and all that other stuff. So it was like, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I'm stuck at home, but I really wasn't stuck at home because I really needed to sit down and get this stuff done. You used to be so busy and you don't sit down because, you know, you need to sit down and get stuff done. So it was like I almost got put in that position to make sure that I got everything I needed to get done so this EP could be released.
Definitely. Well,
and I had no idea that was going to happen. It's like, okay.
I was just going to say, the video that I saw looked really good. It was like very colourful. I like the jacket you were wearing, very snazzy. And the children were there, like their visors and that. Well, it was a really cool setup. Did you plan that setup?
Yes. Well, this is kind of like what it was. I had the song and I was like, I wanted it to bring back a 90s type of feel. You know, I wanted to bring back that feel when we were young and we just kind of played at the playground and we didn't judge each other. You know, when we were like in elementary and going into junior high before, you know, everything got changed, you know, with the way people look at you, you know, when we had that innocence. And so I wanted that. I knew I wanted that look. You know, I wanted that scenery. And I originally had somebody else was going to do the video and ended up talking to this young lady that I used to work with. And I told her, she said, if you give me the freedom to do whatever, just tell me your idea. And I told her, I said, I wanted to be at the playground. I want the kids to be having fun. I want it to be bright. I want it to bring life. You know, when people hear it, I want it to lift them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
that if God be lifted up and I can encourage people, then people, you know, their hearts could be pricked to say, man, that's kind of dope. God is dope too. You know, he's the dopest, you know, like, so, and that's what people think. Cause people think things about God isn't cool. Things about God isn't in. Things about God isn't, you know, fresh. But he's the creator of all things. What the devil is using, he took from God and, you know, put his little wickedness on it, you know. So that's kind of like where I'm at. You know, I came to take it back, and that's on God. That's what I'm talking about right there. That song is actually talking about the whole concept of the song. So, yeah, that was the idea, and she just perfect. It's unbelievable how she put the video together, and it was exactly what I envisioned. And I was like shocked, like, wow.